My name is Alamin Ahmed and this is my colleague.
This is Njoroge.
We are going to read a statement on behalf of the Kenyan children, but first we are going to highlight the issues that we feel the political parties should consider when making their manifestos. These issues have been raised by children today at a meeting that was held at Mtoto News. The first issue being on child participation, we said, number one, proper utilization of the Kenya Children Assembly, where we said that the Kenya Children Assembly should be given all the power. 2, children should be involved in budgetary making processes. 3, children should be represented in the parliament, where we want a caucus in the parliament. 4, we want to stand alone in the Ministry of Child Participation. The second issue being on protection. 1, where we said we want an alternative care for all the street children. The government should provide the rescue centers. 2, we said we want harsher punishments for those who abuse children, where we said we want enough resources allocated for the children who are abused. 3, the DCS should be reinforced by adding more children officers. 4, protection against the use of drugs among the children. 5, corporal punishment should be outlawed. Third issue being on education. 1, we said an inclusive education system so that all schools with disabilities are enabled. We said that we should have at least 2 special needs schools in all the countries. 2, education should be completely and totally free, where the government should provide the school uniforms in all the schools, especially the public schools. 3, the government should increase capitation for every single child. 4, infrastructure should be available in all the schools, and also they should provide more teachers. The other issue being on mental and physical health, where we said all schools should have trained counselors. 2, the reinforcement of EDUIA. 3, the role of matrons and nurses should be differentiated. 4, the life skills should be comprehensive. 5, there should be well-equipped dispensaries. 6, sanitary towels should be offered in schools and as well the hospitals. 7, access to herbal and clean water. 8, proper nutrition and food at an affordable cost. 9, professional staff in hospitals. The next issue being on climate change. 1, support small agricultural producers, protect the forest and to plant the trees. 2, to focus on the major environmental clubs. 3, to discourage the use of chemical fertilizers. 4, to encourage the use of renewable sources of energy. 5, to encourage the use of electric vehicles. 6, to support initiatives like the 200 million trees initiative. And 7, supporting environmental ministries. The next issue being on corruption. 1, providing awareness on what corruption is. 2, to campaign against corruption. 3, vetting and auditing. 4, advocating for election of better voting. 5, punishment for people who are corrupt. 6, implementation of policies to safeguard the funds. And 7, to enforce the laws. The next issue being on children with disabilities. 1, to make the education system inclusive. 2, to provide the necessary resources. 3, to eliminate tokenism. And 4, provision of equipment. The next issue being on infrastructure, where we said the building of playgrounds, dispensaries, perimeter walls, and roads should be initiated. 2, the build-up of necessary infrastructure. Those were some of the issues that we raised during the meeting today at Mtoto News. My colleague here would read our press release statement.
A press release from Mtoto News regarding keeping children safe during elections. This year, being an election year in Kenya, Mtoto News wants to ensure that children are safe. As much as children don't vote, they are more often left out in the political discourse without the realization that these children will grow up and exercise their right to vote in the future. Most children have minimal understanding of the election process and the importance of voting. The little they know is primarily hearsay, talks from adults, and what is showcased in the media. Despite being the majority population in Kenya, children are the ones who suffer the most when there is violence. According to research, children as young as 4 years old can be partisan, which can cause conflict among their peers and in the home. The general elections to be held on 9th August 2022 will greatly shape the future of Kenya. As the nation begins to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic's shadow, it still faces new challenges related to the high cost of living, drought, and climate change. Children are the most impacted by these issues and the country's future costs. We are urging politicians and aspirants to include children in their political agenda and to commit to keep them safe during the campaign, during the elections, and after the elections. We are urging all Kenyans to put the safety of children first and to vote carefully, considering the important issues being discussed and their effects on Kenyan children. Our call is to keep children safe during elections. They matter, they have rights, and they must be involved in the country's future progression through child participation forums. Every Kenyan child deserves to be nurtured, loved, and supported in order to realize their full potential. It is our collective responsibility to create this environment. Mtoto News is running a social media awareness campaign called Keep Children Safe During Elections, and we are urging all Kenyans to participate in order to ensure the safety of our children during the general elections.
Thank you. These were some of the issues that were raised today at the meeting that was held by Mtoto News.
Vote wisely, keep us safe.